Alright guys, in this video we're going to be discussing the don'ts of visiting Mexico. Now I've been in Mexico for about a month and a half now, so I've learned a lot about how the people operate, how the police operate, and some of the things that you should and shouldn't be doing. In this video we're just going to be discussing the don'ts, but if you guys want to see what you should be doing in Mexico, leave a comment and let me know and I'll make a follow-up video to this one. The first don't that you shouldn't be doing in Mexico is don't come without any cash. ATMs are very expensive, exchange rates are not reliable, and you will run out of cash fast because they only give you a limited amount of cash. I would recommend at least coming with $1,500 to $3,000 cash, that's US. If you come from another country, maybe you want to come with a little more. But another thing that you'd want to be aware of, and another don't, would be do not carry it all around with you. Once you get back from your airport, make sure that you end up putting it in a safe or somewhere hidden in your Airbnb or your hotel room, because you have to be careful of not just the people here, which leads me to my third don't. You have to be careful of the police. The police will actually rob you. They'll show you your wallet in this hand and then they'll rob you with whatever else on this hand, or they'll take out your phone with this hand and then rob your wallet with this hand. And they usually are in pairs, so they'll make it seem like they're trying to check you for drugs, but they are trying to rob you most of the time. Now, my friend actually got robbed by the police here. They pulled him over for a reason which we'll discuss in the 4 ways he got scammed while he was here video, which that will be her follow-up to this one. But what you have to do is not walk around at night, and if you do have to walk around at night, try to get an Uber or a taxi to where you're going, because the police will randomly stop you and they will take money out of your wallet. So you do have to be careful. It is important that you want to make sure you save as much money as you can while you're here. So I wouldn't be using ATMs because, like I said, the exchange rates, and it's relatively expensive as far as how much the ATMs charge. Another thing, as I said, make sure you watch out when you're walking around at night because the cops will take money out of your wallet. So those are a couple of the things that I would be aware of. Another don't would be make sure you don't not tip. And what I mean by that is make sure you do tip while you're here. Some people don't leave any tip. And if you, let's say, have a bill and it's like 90 pesos, don't just leave them the additional 10 pesos. Give them like 130 pesos, because the extra 10 pesos is barely even $1. I think it's about 17 pesos is the current exchange rate. And that's what you'll find in a lot of places, but some people are even saying 16 pesos. So you have to be careful, but you don't want to tip less than $1. It's not nice. Everything here is already cheap enough unless you're in the hotel zone. So that's another don't. Make sure that you are tipping people while you're here, because it will give you better service and it will help you if you end up going back to that place. Now, don't come with just one debit card or credit card, because what could happen is one of a couple of things. One, you could lose it. Also, it could get stolen, or you end up spending money at a place that ends up having some kind of breach, and then your bank has to shut it down. That one actually happened to me. Actually, 2 of them happened to me, because after I had the breach, I ended up having to get a new card replaced after the bank called me, so they ended up having to ship it to a DHL center here. I have Bank of America. But a couple of days after that, wouldn't you know what, I ended up losing the other card that I had. Luckily, I had money out of the ATM, so I was able to get through until my other card arrived. But let me tell you, I was running pretty low on money by the time the other card arrived. If I had to wait another 2 or 3 days, I might have been out of money. So you have to be careful with that. Make sure that you come with at least a couple of cards. Leave one at the hotel or your Airbnb. This way you're not walking around with your wallet with all your money and all your cards. It's the same principle as carrying money. Leave one at your Airbnb. Make sure it's in your safe or somewhere safe. Don't not learn Spanish. Now, the reason that you should learn some Spanish, I'm not telling you to learn how to speak Spanish altogether, but at least learn some words in Spanish. Now, some of the basic words you might want to learn is gracias, like thank you. Also, de nada, you're welcome, or baño, bathroom. Poquito means a little bit. So certain things like that will be very helpful, and the locals will really appreciate that you're giving it a try. Remember, you're not in your own country, and just like people in America say, oh, well, they're in America, they should learn to speak our language, some people here feel the exact same way. So learning a few words that could help you get around could definitely benefit you, and it will feel cool to use it at the same time, and it will help you get around. You don't have to ask anybody for help. Now, a couple of apps that I would suggest, one of them would be iTranslate and another one would be Google Translate. Those would be a couple of apps I would suggest getting before you come here, because then you can actually put information in your language, and then it will translate it to their language. So if you're coming here, before you come, obviously learn a little bit of Spanish if you can, if you got the time. I do suggest it, but also download those apps, because sometimes one will work and then the other won't work. Or sometimes one will give inaccurate information when it's translating and the other one will be better. So I would download both just to have them, because it will save you the headache of trying to find the app and download it in the moment. I would download it before you come here. If you can help it, don't take taxis. Now, you may have to in a couple of instances, like coming back from the airport. Ubers are not allowed to go pick you up from the airport, but they are allowed to drop you off. Or if you end up, it's really late and there's no Ubers around, or something of that nature. There's even certain spots like Walmart's where Uber's not able to pick you up and you don't feel like going across the street and having them pick you up there. Those are a few instances where you might have to. But a couple of reasons why I personally wouldn't take taxis is, one, they way overcharge you, and they'll decide how much they charge you based on what you look like. If you look like you have money, they're going to charge you more. I ended up experiencing it. When I first got here, I got a couple of quotes to go to the hotel zone. Both times it was reasonable, $15 to $20, although when you take Uber, it's actually cheaper, somewhere between $8 and $11, much cheaper. But overall, when I ended up wearing my Dolce & Gabbana sunglasses, and it said Dolce & Gabbana on them, some guy tried charging me $35 for a ride, same distance. I have not been charged, I think it was 2 or 3 times that I asked before, $15 to $20. I had those sunglasses on, dude said $35. It was absolutely insane. So if you look like you have money, they're likely going to try to charge you more money, but I guess that might go in a lot of places. But another thing that you should be careful of with taxis is not just the price. The other thing that you should be careful of is, I heard that you can end up taking a taxi, and if you end up smelling like weed or you're doing anything illegal, they'll actually pull over to a cop and then have the cop search you. And sometimes they work with cops, certain taxi drivers. It's also said that they work with the cartels, which is why they were fighting so hard for people to not be able to take Ubers, because it's messing with the cartel's money. So overall, if I was you, I would personally just avoid taxis and take Ubers if you can. They're much cheaper, they're more reliable, and it's safer. Now, you have to be careful when putting your card into ATMs, because there's certain ATMs that will give you your money and your receipt before they give you your card. For example, there's a bank here called BBV, I believe it is. And what they do is they'll give you your money and your receipt, and then they'll give you your card. And if you just take your money without your receipt, your card will still be in there. And I'm not sure if somebody's able to take your money out of the ATM, but they can definitely get your card just by hitting exit. And there's definitely stores they can go to and use the card without a PIN. So you got to be careful to make sure you do not leave your card in the ATM, and you're very cautious about getting your money and just leaving it there, because some people will be in a rush, or maybe you're drunk, or you're just going to do something and you're excited. These are reasons that you might end up forgetting your card in the ATM. So please just be careful and do not forget your card in the ATM, because it is likely it will get stolen and used. So that's about it for this video of don'ts. Now, I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope that you guys wrote some notes if you're coming to Mexico. I think most of these rules apply to all of Mexico. I have heard in the area that I'm at, Cancun, that it is a little bit more with the bribes and stuff of that nature as far as corruption with the police, but that is not to say, even if you're in a safer area, that there are not corrupt people. I have personally never experienced a corrupt cop other than when I was a teenager, and he didn't rob me, but I realized that here it's more often. Like I said, one of my friends did end up getting robbed by the cops here. They ended up searching him and took the money out of his wallet. Luckily, he didn't get arrested. We are going to save that for another video. So if you guys want to see that, leave a comment below and let me know that you do want to see that, because I am going to not only show you the 4 ways that he got scammed, but I'm also going to make a video on how to not get scammed. I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.